Hello, and welcome to another episode of Just Jordan Things, where today we're going to be taking a look at these two bird feeders and comparing them. This is the Netvue bird feeder, and this is the Bird Buddy. Both of these bird feeders capture your feathered friends that visit your yard with pictures and video, but which one's the right pick for you? That's what we're going to be diving into today. First, let's break down some of the features and compare the costs of these two bird feeders. The Netvue ranges in price from $219 to $349, depending on what model you get and the attachments. Up here. The Bird Buddy ranges from $249 to $359 depending on the model. Now let's do a breakdown of all of the specs. The Netvue is a 1080 with a 16:9 aspect ratio, and the Bird Buddy is a 720 with a 3:4 aspect ratio. I'll put some videos and images of what these two have captured so that you can see the comparison. It's not a huge difference, but depending on how you plan to use the footage, this could be the deciding factor on which one you pick. The Netvue has a night mode and it captures 24/7 nonstop action. I even caught some funny little furry friends in my yard that were not feathered. The Bird Buddy, however, has a deep sleep mode. So at night, from sundown to sunup, it will reserve the battery and go to sleep. Now let's talk about battery really fast, because the Netvue does have a couple models that come with a solar attachment, which means you don't have to worry about charging the battery. That's the one I have, so I can't compare the length of the battery of the two of these. But I will say this one has lasted a week and a half, and I have a lot of birds, a lot of them bebopping around. Let's talk about the actual cameras within the two of them. The Netvue has a fully adjustable camera. That means you can tilt it up and down, get a different angle of the birds if you want to see more of your yard, less of your yard, more of the bird's feet, less of the bird's feet. This allows you to do that. The Bird Buddy has one stable position that you can position the camera in, but it's straight onto the feeder. So honestly, I have them set up to capture the same type of footage, so I don't know. For me personally, that's not something I would make a judgment off of, the two different feeders. Let's talk about how much seed they hold. The Netvue has a seed capacity of 1,500 milliliters. The Bird Buddy has 600 milliliters. But the birds in my yard are so hungry that they finish them both off at the same time. So I have to refill both feeders every 3 to 4 days. Doesn't really make much of a difference. If you want to feed more birds or less birds, if that's a specific thing that you need in your feeder, then that's the spec for you. Now let's talk about storage of the videos, because the Netvue has an option to insert an SD card and save more footage, whereas the Bird Buddy, it's all stored on the cloud. The Netvue, you can store videos that you save on their cloud for 30 days, but then it expires if you haven't saved it, gone into the app, downloaded it, or saved it on an SD card. The Netvue records any time that there is motion, whereas the Bird Buddy only records when it detects a specific bird. Not people, not movement, just birds. This one I had in my backyard and would go off when an umbrella was moving that was in the view, so I had to lower the sensitivity of the motion capture. It is kind of nice to be able to use this one as a security camera too. You can look into the app and get a live feed of your backyard if you're ever worried about anything going on back there, so that's pretty cool. This one you cannot. I also captured some funny moments of Daisy. Pretty entertaining. Now let's take a look at how these interact with the app. The Bird Buddy gives you a notification and you have to go in and look at the visitor. You have to review it, save it, select which images you want to put on your phone or save in your passport on the app. Now let's talk about mounting. Mounting each of these was not difficult. You have the option to hang them or mount them on a pole. The Netvue comes with the attachments, 4 different ways to mount it. The Bird Buddy, you have to buy an additional attachment. I tried just sitting them on the wall and I had a little skunk visitor, so that wasn't for me. Don't do what I do. Don't set them on the wall. Put them up high where only birds can get them, especially if you're worried about little squirrels too. The Netvue does have a feature so you can talk into the app or sound an alarm that it has if you have any squirrels that you see or unwanted visitors. Heck, if there's some random person in your backyard that you see, you can yell at them through the app, or your boyfriend, you know, either one, whatever you pick. Bird Buddy does not have that feature. Both of these are great feeders and my birds love them a lot. But let's talk about the maintenance of them. It's recommended that you clean your bird feeders often because of the diseases birds can carry. The Bird Buddy does have an in-app reminder that tells you, I think after a week, hey, it's time to clean your bird feeder. And this is a great opportunity to charge the battery as well. To properly clean a feeder, you want to clean out all the seeds. You can take a dry bottle brush or cloth to get everything out from the insides. Then you can use at 3 parts water, 1 part vinegar solution, or 9 parts water, 1 part bleach solution. There are some feeders you can put in the dishwasher, but the high temperatures can often damage them, so I wouldn't recommend that with either of these. And Clorox wipes can also be used. The Netvue has a camera installed in it, so you have to be careful not to get any of that water around the electronics, but the Bird Buddy has the removable camera, so you can take that out and charge it whenever you need to clean it. Again, the Bird Buddy camera battery lasted a little over 2 weeks for me, and they got a lot of activity. The battery life will depend on how many birds you have and how much activity you're getting, but it will likely last a pretty good amount of time because of that sleep feature. Personally, I like the solar power because I have ADD, and remembering to do something on a routine basis just is too much. I don't need to add anything else for myself to that list. Now let's talk about the in-app experience between the two. The Bird Buddy has more of an interactive, gamified experience that might be really fun for kids or like a family event. You have to manually collect each of the birds, then visit and add them to your log in your passbook. Both apps identify what type of bird is visiting with AI technology, but the Bird Buddy has an extra community tab where you can share out the bird videos and images you've captured. You can go through different images of community birds and see what types of birds live in different locations. There's also an unidentified bird area where you can try to name birds that the AI couldn't recognize. Overall, I think both of these bird feeders are a really good option, but I want to know what you think. What features do you like the most? What features are the most compelling? Do you now want to recognize all the birds that come and visit your yard? I always look forward to reading your comments and recommendations and different perspectives that I didn't even think about, so thank you. And thank you for liking and subscribing. I'm gonna go watch the birds.